Here with us to react, Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick. Senator, the Democrats are using phrases like leverage again to shut down the government because they are committed to open borders, and they're using the tragedy of Alex Preddy to do it.
Yeah, well, it's political theater. It's absolute political theater. So what the Democrats are saying is that they're going to not pass the Department of Homeland Security appropriations. The Appropriations Department of Homeland Security was largely already passed through the Working Families Tax Cut Act. So it's funded. If they do what they're saying, they're not going to hurt DHS or the Border Patrol. They're going to hurt the Coast Guard and FEMA and the Secret Service. So they're not going to do anything to affect ICE or the Border Patrol. It's going to be able for them to go to their voters and say, we're standing up to President Trump. This is part of a broader problem where they, as you say, have lost their minds when the president is doing what he said he would do, which is secure the border and then particularly send those violent criminals back to the places they came from or prosecute them. And that's the agenda we need to stay true to.
Well, Senator Schumer, who is, in my view, barely cognizant at this point, he used a familiar phrase to try to convince his colleagues to kind of pull back ICE. Watch this.
This puts our democracy at risk. It's a force of thuggery. The federal government is supporting a large force of thuggery, and we really worry about its consequences for America if we don't rein them in.
I think stay the course. I think that's what President Trump is doing. Stay the course. I think he did a smart thing in Minneapolis. He de-escalated in the sense that he tried to bring down the rhetoric. He tried to get the governor and the mayor to participate more meaningfully than they were, but he stayed true to the mission of keeping our law enforcement focused on getting those violent criminals out of that city and other cities. And I agree with you that you're never going to satisfy people like Larry Krasner from my home state, Philadelphia.
I keep forgetting. It's like right? The tale of two
when you
types
say,
of citizens.
When you say you're going to hunt down ICE officers for enforcing the law like Nazis, that's not someone you can reason with.
This is what George Soros brought to us, though. This is what the Soros prosecutors brought the country. That kind of language, if conservatives ever spoke in that way, they'd be destroyed.
And it's a slippery slope to violence. And that's why you see in these protests, lots of it is funded from outside groups. Lots of this is designed to stand in the way of law enforcement and often leads to violence. And so when you look at what's happened in Minnesota, that's not happened in a lot of other places where ICE has been engaged because the public officials and law enforcement has cooperated with ICE and the Border Patrol. That's what we need to get back to.
Don't you think that it's time for optimism in the country? I think people on our 250th birthday want a sense that things are going to calm down, life's getting better, things are going to get more affordable, and it's time to have a little pursuit of happiness, don't you think?
I think so, and I think what's happening over the last year is taking us in the right direction. I think the economy is really coming alive. I think you're going to see a great first quarter and second quarter. I think it is getting better for working families. I think the tax cuts are going to go into effect in April. I think you're seeing this huge investment. So life is getting better. It's more secure, and we need to stay the course.
Should we have national voter ID, and how are we going to get it without busting the filibuster?
Well, listen, we've got momentum on the SAVE Act. I see other senators joining. I think there's real momentum.
You need 60, right?
Well, first we need to get all the Republicans first.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing more and more Republicans come on board. And once we get all the Republicans, I think we got to continue to push. This is the one thing that needs to happen prior to the midterm election.
Especially now that we found out in Minnesota where you can register to vote so easily,
right?
And if you're not a citizen, you can still find ways maybe to register.
People say
for
there's
vote.
already laws against illegal.
Why are they so against IDs?
Well, the reason they're against IDs is because it'll stand in the way of someone who's not legal getting their license in a state and then being able to apply and vote, register to vote. And that's what's happening in many places. The other problem, which you know about, is the census, where under the Biden administration, we allowed illegal immigrants to count in the census. We need to fix both those things to get back to voter integrity.
All right, Senator, always great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on in.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.